Now the news in full. Threats to the 2023 general elections deepened on Wednesday, with the Independent National Electoral Commission raising fears over 45% of the total number of registered voters have been found to be invalid as of January 14, 2022. The Commission, however, said 1,390,519 permanent voter cards are valid. While describing the situation as challenging, the Commission said it will continue to clean up the voters' register. The chairman of INEC, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, said these during a press conference in Abuja, where he also raised fears about security challenges on the election. He said the Commission is concerned about the security challenges, but the environment must be secured for INEC to conduct the election. Members of the All Progressives Congress, APC, in Odeda local government have been admonished to remain united and continue to contribute to the success of the party in all ramifications. The Chief of Staff to the Governor, Alhaji Shoaib Salisu, gave the admonition at the meeting of members of APC from Odeda local government held at the party's secretariat. Details are in this report.
The first of its kind in recent time, as it was attended by members from all the wards of the local government, including elected and political appointees from the local government and at the state level. Addressing the members, the Chief of Staff to the Governor, Alhaji Shoaib Salisu, assures them of Governor Abeokuta's appreciation and resolved to bring more dividends of democracy and more developmental projects to the people and communities in Odeda local government.
Odeda, being a local government representative, was a battleground where Odeda people, you gave a good account of yourself. You were there, you were resolute, you were steadfast. And you provided all the support for him. And your vote were part of those votes that made you the governor of Ogun State. He wants me to say a very big thank you to you. And part of that appreciation to you, unlike the previous administration that had no project or even major appointments in Odeda, Prince Abeokuta MFR is showing deep appreciation to you. One of the first projects of this administration, not just in Ogun State but in Ogun State, was the Pajok Bonogu Road. It is just a piece of appreciation to the people of Odeda local government. Part of that appreciation is the Keta Shomari Road. So you can see that Lagos Ibadan Express Road, particularly in areas like Abeokuta, that is always congested. The governor is working on solutions to divert traffic on the right and that divert traffic on the left.
A member of the Ogun State House of Assembly representing Odeda State constituency, Honorable Daisy Elemide, also dwells on the significance of the meeting.
We've been having ward meetings, we've been having leaders meetings, but we've not been able to have an elaborate general meeting. So we said, let us come together, at least to see them and hold meeting with them, so that it won't be, it is going to be the time of campaign that we'll be seeing them.
The State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Tomi Koka, Odeda local government chairman, Mrs. Afolashade Adeyemo, and APC chairman in the local government, Honorable Saka Musulumi, all believed that the party will work stronger and remain relevant in the scheme of things in Ogun Central Senatorial District. Hakeem Akitunde, OGTV News.
The Ogun State Ministry of Justice, in collaboration with the Bureau of Public Procurement, Ogun State, has through a workshop urged legal officers saddled with the task of procurement to avail themselves of the Public Procurement Amendment Law 2021 to avoid pitfalls. This came to fore as the legal officers were taking on a training session by the Director General, Ogun State Bureau of Public Procurement, Dr. Adeshina Olanloye, at the Ministry of Justice Office in Okemoson, Abeokuta. Bumi Adigun covered the training and he completes the story.
The Public Procurement Law of Ogun State was enacted in 2014, and had since not been put to use until 2020, when it was amended. And this law, as it affects the Ministry of Justice, is to release a legal officer each for ministries, departments, and agencies, and as well as parastatals who will serve as legal officers in the Public Procurement Committee. The public procurement entails the use of public funds by public entities for the delivery of goods, works, and services, usually through a third party. For everyone to be on board thus necessitated this workshop, and those targeted are the law officers, whose job on the Public Procurement Board can make or mar any process carried out by any ministry or agency. From the Commissioner for Justice and Attorney General of Ogun State, Mr. Oluwashina Ogungbade, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Justice, and the Solicitor General, Bamidele Adebayo, and the Director of Civil Litigations, the platform for the workshop is apt.
We cannot overemphasize the need for the best practices in relation to procurement, because it also dovetails. Essentially, it's about transparency in government and business.
The majority of you here have been seconded to some of the agencies, and some of you have been coming to ask, what are we expected to do when we get to the committee?
That the vision, the mission, and the purpose of the importance of public procurement is really exhibited, more particularly amongst law officers that has been made statutorily.
Director of the Ogun State Bureau of Public Procurement, Dr. Adeshina Olanloye, was on the ground to lecture law officers on what they need to know and their roles as law officers attached to a public procurement committee.
They may not want to see you. If you cannot see the accounting officer, explain to the head of the procurement unit that present and active at all meetings of the procurement planning committee. Yes, please, this meeting of the procurement planning committee, I know what happens is that you just sign the thing. Please don't sign the thing now.
The workshop later went into discussion sessions with revelations by law officers who in the past signed to the documents but were not part of its implementation. However, the lecturer advised against complacency. The workshop was organized by the Ministry of Justice in conjunction with the Ogun State Bureau of Public Procurement. Bumi Adigun, OGTV News.
The Chief of Staff to the Ogun State Governor, Alhaji Shuaib Shalisu, has enjoined Muslim and Christian faithful to use the period of the Ramadan to pray for divine intervention in the country and also pray for government at all levels. Alhaji Shuaib Shalisu stated this when he hosted political members of the All Progressives Congress APC to iftar.
The opportunity of breaking fast together affords me the opportunity to say thank you as well to people who have been very supportive of this measure, particularly from Ogun Central. We know that in the journey to the office, Ogun Central stood very well behind President Abeokuta administration as a candidate then, and ultimately as the governor of the state. And as a high-ranking official in the executive office of the governor, I also feel obliged to say thank you on behalf of the governor. The third and the final one, of course, as well, it's also just to share some words of God with each other, to remind ourselves about the essence of fasting, and to be our neighbor's keeper.
It was not only the Muslims that were at the gathering, but also Christians who are also observing the Lenten period. The iftar was graced by political members from Obafemi Owode and Odeda local government areas, where the Chief of Staff hails from. Lenten and Ramadan seasons are a time for Christian and Muslim faithful to connect with their God through prayers, fasting, and self-sacrificial service. The 2022 Lenten and Ramadan seasons are unique as both Muslims and Christians engage in the spiritual exercise simultaneously in the month of April. In this special report, Sheyi Alao had a chat with clergymen on the significance of convergence of the holy seasons at the same time.
The Lenten and Ramadan season are the most important periods of reflection and abstinence for Christians and Muslims in seeking the face of their Creator. During this period, both Christians and Muslims engage in fasting and prayer in their own ways and also give alms to the needy. However, the Lenten and Ramadan season converge same time this year, and clergymen have their say on if either it is sign from God or a coincidence.
It was not a coincidence or by mistake. It has been planned by God that this is going to happen for you people to know that I am God.
I think this connotes that the two religions are from Almighty God.
There's nothing that happens that God doesn't know about it. And I believe everybody should be watchful. This time around, God has started a new dawn, both Christian, and it's just to make us to understand that there is no difference between Christian and Muslim.
The Christians observe Lent for a period of 40 days, while on the other end, the Ramadan is for 30 days. Despite the little difference in numbers of days, it was unanimously agreed that Ramadan and Lent operate in the same theological frameworks, and there is a deep resemblance between both.
Ramadan, at least in the midnight, they take something. But in our own way, we didn't take anything. But it's still the same way. So both Ramadan and this Christian fasting, they are just, it's a sober reflection.
So we have our own right as Muslims. Why the Christians also have their own rights as Christians? You can see we are fasting together, and there is no quarrel, there's no fighting between each other.
Clergymen then advise faithful to let this season manifest to a peaceful neighborhood and bring peace to the world.
If you have this season at the same time, that shows that there must be a kind of reconciliation in our message. There must be a kind of unity.
Ramadan teaches us that you have to give out during Ramadan period. It's necessary we see ourselves as a family.
For Ramadan, the Ramadan and the Lenten period to be going on simultaneously is an eye-opener that there is no need for religious violence or crisis.
Muslims and Christians to live together in peace and harmony wherever they find themselves.
Ramadan and Lent end with celebration, and that is enough reason to believe that both seasons are from the same source. Sheyi Alao, OGTV News.
The Senior Heads of the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, as well as the National Population Commission, NPC, have been sworn in. President Muhammadu Buhari performed the ceremony in accordance with the provisions of the nation's constitution. The appointees, 5 each for the 2 constitutional bodies, were nominated by the President and confirmed by the Senate, having been satisfied with the requisite experience, professional competence, and integrity. Those to fill existing vacancies in the ICPC are Senator Anthony Agbo, representing the Southeast, and Anne Ode, representing the South-South, Goni Ali Gujba, Dr. Louis Mandama, Northeast, as well as retired AIG Olubenga Adeyanju, Southwest.
They've been part of the whole preparation, at least before the expiration of the tenure. Now that they are back, we will swing into full action. Every state is represented, and we'll make sure, by the grace of God, we'll get a great census for Nigeria. We are preparing to do the pilot census sometime in May. Once we do that, we give a gap of about 6 months, then we'll do the main census by the grace of God.
We are in for a new and better deal with census in this country. With the e-census, which is the first of its kind, all hands will be on deck to deliver a credible and acceptable census to the country.
I was part of the 1991 census, I was part of the 2006 census, and now I have the opportunity to be a part of this next census. I can assure that this census promises to be the most acceptable, the most accurate, and the most credible, free from political manipulation, free from political controversies.
4 out of the 5 commissioners sworn in for the National Population Commission were returnees for second term in office, having been appointed for the first time in 2017. They are Benedict Effiong from Akwa Ibom State, Gloria Jonfo from Bayelsa State, Patricia Pucci from Benue State, Dr. Haliru Bala from Kebbi State, and Dr. Eyitayo Oyetunji from Oyo State. Chairman of the National Population Commission, Nasir Isa from Kwara State. The last time Nigeria had a head count was in 2006. The federal government has revealed that the ongoing intense terrorist activities in the north, including the recent attack on the Abuja-Kaduna train, are being carried out by an alliance of bandits and Boko Haram elements. It also revealed it is working at various levels to do everything possible to get victims of the train attack who were abducted from the train by terrorists out of captivity. Even as it said, it had the whole situation under control. Speaking after the weekly Federal Executive Council meeting, Minister of Defense, Major General Bashir Magashi, and his information and cultural counterpart, Lai Mohammed, said the government is not folding its arms in the face of the security crisis, but explained that disclosing details of the action plan in the media would be counterproductive. According to the ministers, those security agencies are still working hard to unveil the group behind the attack. A preliminary report showed that the criminal groups were collaborating, urging Nigerians to also collaborate with the government to smoke the criminals out. Kaduna Governor Nasir El-Rufai had revealed that the attack on the train was carried out by Boko Haram terrorists in collaboration with some bandits operating in Kaduna, Zamfara, Sokoto, Niger, and Kebbi states. Following the federal government's directive to all telcos to bar unlinked SIMs from making calls and unrest that ensued, NIN centers are now witnessing a calm after last week's crowd thereafter. Ogun State crew that visited centers in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, reported that the crowd has considerably reduced. Ronke Adeyemi reports.
GSM users whose lines have been deactivated over non-linkage of NIN with their SIMs have been lamenting the frustrations of not being able to make calls again. This is coming on the heels of the directive of the federal government that directed all telecos to strictly enforce the NIN SIM policy implementations on all SIMs issued, existing and new, by barring outgoing calls of defaulters. According to Nigerian Communications Commission, about 190 million lines have been deactivated, among whom were those unable to complete the process due to stress to get their lines restored.
We've been told about linking up our NIN, but not about buying us from making calls. Though they said something pertaining to such, you understand. But my own issue is different. I've done the normal sleep as I should do. Getting there, they said I have a problem with my IPE. And asked the woman in charge, he said, I did need to confirm from Abuja. That's the reason why they delayed mine until now.
It should be pointed out that there has been several extensions before the final enforcement of the policy, which came to force from Monday, 4th of April 2022. ICT experts say the move is long overdue for citizens to benefit in data collection.
The population we have at the moment, according to statistics, we have about 192.8 million active telecom subscribers, and only 72 or 72.8 million have not linked their number. So over 100 million have linked. So what are those 72 million? What are they doing?
You don't have to fill multiple forms when you get everywhere. Just provide your NIN and you're able to fetch your details. So all of these things, I feel they can give people more time, but at the same time, people have enough time on their hands.
The faulters then pleaded with the federal government to allow people perfect the link at their pace, while they also develop a verifiable database.
Normally, people are negligent. If government will not stop this, then do this thing, people will not be able to do it. But people have learned their lesson now. We appeal to government to help us to extend it.
Experts also noted that the efforts of this NIN SIM linkage should not be undervalued as mere data gathering. Rather, it should be seen as a necessary step to tackling insecurity across the nation. Aderonke Adeyemi, OGTV News.
The Ogun State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Tomi Koka, has paid a visit to a poor mother of 3 who recently was delivered of a set of triplets through cesarean section. The mother, Mrs. Kafaya Joseph, was delivered of the set of triplets, a boy and 2 girls, at the Odeda General Hospital on the 29th of March 2022. Accompanied by the chairman of Odeda local government, Mrs. Folashade Adeyemo, Dr. Tomi Koka presented baby care items and cash to the mother.
Unfortunate thing is the father is unemployed, and you can see the environment in which the children will be looked after. So on behalf of His Excellency Prince Abeokuta, we've given them some succor, and I will be getting my medical team to also come and see the mother to enroll her on our health insurance scheme, so that it would make it easy for her to look after herself and the 3 children in the next 12 months in the first instance. So that would be the next step. Obviously, we'll be reaching out to Her Excellency as well, who has promised me, once I told her about the children, that she will be coming to pay our own courtesy visits as well and do the needful.
Mother, who was full of appreciation, had named the triplets Dapo, Tomi, and Afolashade after the governor, the commissioner, and the local government chairman. Dapo, Tomi, and Afolashade. Perfect name for perfect triplet. The International Press Institute, IPI Nigeria, has said that it will open a book of infamy to document every individual whose action or inaction encourages or allows the harassment of journalists and the media in Nigeria. The president of IPI Nigeria, Muskili Mojid, stated this on Tuesday during a courtesy visit by the body to the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, in Abuja. According to a statement by the IPI Nigeria Secretary, Ahmed I. Shekarau, Mr. Mojid said the move became necessary in view of the country's worsening press freedom record under the current administration. He said there were many Nigerians who believed the media was freer and stronger in 2015 than it is now, a perception that tallies with at least 2 global rankings. According to him, between 2013 and 2015, Nigeria improved on the annual World Press Freedom Index by Reporters Without Borders. The Inspector General of Police, Usman Alkali Baba, today disclosed that all rank and file policemen across the country who have remained in the same rank since 2017 will be promoted in the next 24 hours, which is Thursday, 14th April 2022. This is just as the IGP warned that police officers and other security agencies, including the military for now, have become endangered species. Hence, security operatives should be mindful of who they associate with and where they go. Addressing officers and policemen of Zone 7 headquarters during his familiarization visit and commissioning of projects, Alkali said issues of welfare of police personnel is paramount to him, disclosing that the nation was approaching an election year, he told the personnel. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has announced that it has established the Department of Internal Affairs in the agency. The anti-graft agency said the department deals with any form of misconduct by staff. EFCC made the public announcement in a tweet on its official handle on Wednesday. It, however, called on the general public to report any misconduct by staff to the agency. The Nigerian Navy has assured the civil populace of continuous efforts and policies to improve on its cordial relationship. Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Anwar Zubairu Gambo gave this assurance at the 2022 music variety show of Nigerian Navy Band, organized by Nigerian Navy Directorate of Music Ota, held at the Palace of the Olota of Ota. Matthew Showumi completes the report.
While promptly responding with commensurate actions to other emerging national security challenges and giving it all to protect nation's territorial integrity and safeguard the waterways, the Nigerian Navy has always engaged in other activities to exhibit its numerous capacity. This music variety show has been an avenue for the Nigerian Navy to demonstrate the dexterity of its officers and men in the use of various old and contemporary musical instruments, performance of different music genres, and general stage performance. Pursuant to the policy of the Chief of Naval Staff to improve on the relationship between the Navy and civil population, the music show has now been taken out of the regimental circle for the first time and been hosted by the Olota of Ota, Oba Abdulkabir Obalanlege, at his palace. Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Anwar Zubairu Gambo, represented by Flag Officer Commanding Naval Training Command, Rear Admiral Monday Nuhiri, commended the officers and Directorate of Music for their efforts.
We have also seen that not only does the military band provide music throughout the spectrum of military operations to instill in our personnel the will to fight and win, the band also fosters support for our citizens.
Olota of Ota, Oba Abdulkabir Obalanlege, said he has been working alongside others with equal means to support the Navy as a way of reciprocating the huge benefits the community is enjoying.
With this cordial relationship existing between the Nigerian Navy and the people of Ota, it has helped in intelligence gathering because our people have that confidence in them.
Acting Director of Music of Nigerian Navy, Commander Olalekan Abiodun, said the show has been brought to the host community to build on the already existing cordial relationship with the people of Ota.
We share the opportunity to listen to some of these solo performances, duets, group and instrumental performances.
There were good messages from traditional rulers and others in attendance. Souvenirs were presented to dignitaries and those who have been partnering with the Directorate of Music of Nigerian Navy, among whom was the General Manager of Ogun State Television, Matthew Showumi, OGTV News.
The Ogun State Traffic Compliance and Enforcement Corps, TRACE, has commenced what it called Operation Safe and Responsible Driving throughout the state's traffic corridors. The exercise is to ensure effective traffic management, timely clearance of obstructions, prompt rescue and emergency service in collaboration with other security agencies on all road networks across the state before, during and after the Easter celebration. According to a release from the Office of the Trace Corps Commander and Chief Executive Sheni Ogunyemi, the operation, which commenced on Monday, April 11, 2022 through Friday, April 22, 2022, will involve the deployment of the full strength of Trace Corps operational resources to man strategic beats and choke points, especially diversion and construction zones across the state traffic corridors. This is to check the excesses of recalcitrant motorists, more so that the cause envisage a high volume of human and vehicular movement during the Easter holiday with its attendant traffic buildup, breakdown of ill-maintained vehicles, obstruction, overspeeding, reckless driving, and road crashes. The release further urged all operatives of the Corps to be humane and exhibit a high level of professionalism, just as it charged the general public, particularly the motoring public, to ensure a crash-free celebration. While wishing the Christian community a happy Easter celebration, The Trace Boss enjoined motorists to ensure strict compliance to traffic rules and regulations, as any vehicle apprehended during the celebration will not be released until Monday, 25th April 2022, when the Corps would have ended our Easter Special Operation Order. The Ogun State government has been proactive in curbing the act of indiscipline among school children, hence the need for collective efforts at stemming to the barest minimum. This was the submission of a member of the Ogun State House of Assembly representing Abeokuta South 1 State constituency, Honorable Yusuf Adejojo, during a sensitization and empowerment program held in his constituency office, Ijaye Abeokuta. Adebola Shomoji was there and completes the report.
In line with his commitment towards impacting the lives of people and to build additional capacity in the area of curbing the act of indiscipline among school children, a member representing Abeokuta South State Constituency 1 in Ogun State House of Assembly, Honorable Yusuf Adejojo, organized a sensitization program coupled with his monthly empowerment project. The idea of the program, according to him, battered the passion of developing the future generations.
The role of parents in an upbringing of a child is very, very important. And the earlier, the better we catch them young. Because by the time they grow older, it might be difficult to correct them. So this is the reason why I need to engage the parents as well, for them to know that they have more responsibility to take in the upbringing of the children.
The responsibility of parents in child's upbringing were emphasized by the Commandant, National School Crime Prevention Corps, Mr. Folayenka Ige.
Actually, he called us so that come and sensitize these people on the need for their children, for them to monitor their children so that they can become great and like him in future.
Managing Director of Yusuf Adejojo Foundation, Mrs. Victoria Fashola Adejojo, affirmed her support to complement her husband's political ambition.
By God's grace, I will always give my support, because I believe the marriage and the partnership is about supporting each other. So because of that, I am fully behind him 100%.
While recounting his achievements in the past years and distributing the gifts to the beneficiaries, the legislator promised never to relent in bringing dividends of democracy to his constituency.
I have 7 wards in my constituencies, so in total I empowered about 70 participants today. Can I assure my constituents, Abeokuta South Constituency 1, that this will be a monthly program. We actually visited some health centers, we donated some equipment for them, PPEs and generating sets for us to encourage the staffs and all to improve their service delivery for the people of my constituency.
The beneficiaries were full of joy for the gesture.
Assembly Adejojo, try
This event is one of his many ways of giving back to the people of his constituency. Adebola Oshomuji, OGTV News.
The Supreme Court on Wednesday in Abuja affirmed the 6-year imprisonment imposed on the former Federal Director of Pensions, Mr. John Yakubu Yusuf, for misappropriating 22.9 billion naira police pensions fund. The Apex Court, apart from affirming the 6-year sentence, also ordered him to refund the 22.9 billion naira to the federal government coffers. Justice Tijani Abubakar, in his judgment in an appeal filed by Yusuf, upheld the decision of the Court of Appeal, which in 2018 sentenced him to 6 years imprisonment, in addition to ordering him to refund the huge sum. The Apex Court said Yusuf and others engaging in fraudulent practices must be told in clear language through court judgments that it is no longer business as usual. Justice Abubakar said the appeal of the former Federal Pension Director seeking to set aside the 6-year jail term against him was frivolous, vexatious, and devoid of merit. He further held that victims of the convicted director deserve restitution, which can only be achieved through justice. Gunmen have attacked the police station in Atani, the headquarters of Ogbaru local government area of Anambra State, killing 4 policemen, including a female corps on duty. It was gathered that the gunmen launched the attack in the early hours of Wednesday, and it took everybody unawares. The State Police Public Relations Officer, Tochukwu Ikenga, has confirmed the attack. He said the hoodlums came around 1 in the morning, and unlucky for the command, 4 police operatives paid the supreme prize. The Commissioner of Police, CP Echeng, on hearing of the attack, immediately mobilized men of the command from various units to the area. On the business news segment, Opeyemi Adewumi is our guide. Stay with us.
Welcome to the business segment of the news. The Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company, IBEDC, said 3 towers of the Papalanto-Ojere 132 kV double-circuit lines collapsed, leaving the state capital, Ayetoro, Imeko, Owodiegba, and Mowe with no power supply for days. In a statement by its management, the IBEDC said the collapse of the towers adversely affected Abeokuta Transmission Substation, Ojere, and New Abeokuta at Kobakwe. According to the statement shared on its social media handle, it was stated that all the 33 kV feeders from the affected substations will be out until the towers are reconstructed. While no specific time was given for the reconstruction, residents of the entire Abeokuta metropolis, Ayetoro, Imeko, Mowe, and Owodiegba would continue to experience power outage. The IBEDC said the distribution company apologized to its consumers for the inconveniences, assuring them that power will be restored as soon as the towers are fixed. The federal government, European Union, and the German government in Abuja decried the impact of the capacity gap in leapfrogging Nigeria to an energy-efficient country. Although Nigeria is looking to raise 30% of its energy needs from new renewables by 2030, over 30,000 professionals are currently required to ensure that the goal is achieved. Coming at a time when the country's electricity grid continues its epileptic performance, leaving homes and businesses in darkness, the Minister of Power, Abubakar Liu, said renewable energy sector remain critical to the government's economic recovery plan. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Chief Timpre Silva, said the April 2023 completion date for the rehabilitation of the Port Harcourt refinery was feasible and that the plant would refine 60,000 barrels of crude by early next year. Speaking on the state of repairs of the facility, which was projected to go up $1.5 billion, the minister expressed satisfaction at the level of work. Silva stated this while answering questions from newsmen shortly after a tour of the Port Harcourt Refinery Company in Eleme, Rivers State. He said as the project kicked off in the second quarter of last year, it is quite impressive that appreciable progress has been made. The minister also vowed that the federal government will put an end to all forms of illegal oil bunkering going on in the Niger Delta, saying such criminal activities must not be legalized. Nigeria has the largest number of internet poor people in the world. This is according to the Internet Poverty Index by the World Data Lab. According to the index, 47.39%, 103.02 million people of Nigerian 207.37 million population suffer from internet poverty. 1.39 billion people are suffering from internet poverty in the world in 2022. 51.43% of those living in internet poverty in the world live in Nigeria, India, China, Congo, Brazil, Pakistan, Philippines, Tanzania, Indonesia, and South Africa. 169 countries were ranked on the index. The federal government will in May introduce a system online for the tracking and monitoring of passport applications. The Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola, said this at the opening of a two-day workshop for passport control officers of the Nigerian Immigration Service in Abuja. Aregbesola revealed that the federal government had concluded plans to launch a system that would lead to minimal interaction between passport applicants and immigration officers. The minister said, apart from the national identity number verification and linking, there should be no other major reason for the delay in issuing passports. It said the waiting time for fresh passports should not be more than 6 weeks, while for passports renewal, it should not exceed 3 weeks. And that brings us to the end of the business segment of the news. We now go back to Tunji for the rest of the news.